There are no miracles, only higher levels of understanding. A man must know two things. He must know who he is, and he must know where he's going. You know, we always talk about the importance of purpose, right? You know, we talk about how to find purpose, how to walk in that I am. But the thing is, if you don't understand where purpose should be placed as far as the priority in your life, brother, I can almost guarantee your life is in utter chaos. In other words, if purpose isn't in the right spot on your life's totem pole, if your hierarchy isn't structured in a certain manner, brothers, meaning God first, priority, purpose, self, wife, children, the remainder of the world. If you aren't operating by that formula, brother, I can almost guarantee that if your life is in utter chaos right now, it's headed in that direction, brother. Like, life can't function properly outside of that. And the thing is this, man, like when we talk about purpose, like a lot of brothers think that it means that you have to hang the moon. You know, a lot of brothers think that means you have to be some megastar on social media. You have to be some world inventor. You have to be some man that's some MLK or JFK. You know, a person that's made an attempt to shift the whole civilization. Brother, being in your purpose is simply identifying who you are, where you're going, and walking in that. Man. So the thing is, man, you have to understand that your purpose isn't going to look like someone else's. Your purpose is going to look like what you want your destiny to look like. Your purpose is going to look like what you want to leave this world, what you want to give back, how you want to shift this planet, brothers. You know what I'm saying? But the beautiful thing is this, man. You can identify when a man walks in his I am. You can identify when a man is channeled through his purpose and now plugged into source. He moves different. He talks different. He submerges himself in self-love, man. And that leads me to today's sponsor, brothers. This is everything Tiege Hanley is represented by, and I'm glad they're sponsoring this video. Believe me, man, Tiege Hanley is the truth. You've heard me talk about them before, and you're going to be hearing me talk about them for a long time because I know the positive impact they've had on my life. Seriously. I don't think some of you brothers believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve confidence in all areas of your life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skincare uncomplicated. They provide you with all the products that you need and nothing you don't. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it simple for guys like us, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you how and when to use each product. It definitely comes in clutch. Skincare wasn't something I always took seriously, brothers, but now I wish I would have sooner. But you don't have to take my word for it, brothers. There are over 5,000 5-star reviews from customers around the globe. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off of retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description box and you'll get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. So I want to talk about 3 reasons, brothers, why your purpose must be your priority. And the first one is this. The first reason why your purpose must be a priority is because, to be honest, there's no fulfillment outside of that. For a man, there's no fulfillment outside of that. You know, in the Power Circle, we were just reading the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dieter. And one of the chapters, man, he was talking about that. He was saying, and this is what he said, brothers. I'm going to just read it. He said, if your deepest purpose is to meditate and realize God, you may find that before you can totally dedicate yourself to this practice, you must work your way through the concentric circles of playing with sexual partners, using narcotics, getting married, raising children, developing a career, and finally, having dissolved your fascination and need to do all of that, getting down to the business of full-time meditation. In other words, full-time connection with Source, right? He says, as you dissolve each layer and move towards the center, you will move more and be more living from your deeper purpose. In other words, what Brother Dita was saying was, you know, a lot of men are going to take the route where they're going to entertain all these things. You know, they're going to entertain certain vices. They're going to entertain, you know, purchasing a lot of, you know, things, whatever they are. They're going to entertain women even to the point of marriage and children and finding careers and all that stuff. He said they're going to entertain that. But you have to understand, brothers, all those things are good. But it's like if his ultimate goal is to find God, like what he's saying is until a man checks a lot of those boxes, he's always going to be on the fence like which way should I go? But ultimately, brothers, you'll quickly understand that there's really no fulfillment in chasing these things. And I'm talking about men that are tied to their purpose. It's like once a man checks those boxes, now he can fully submerge himself in finding that purpose and walking in that I am, brother. And I'm telling you, there's no fulfillment in anything other than that. And this is why I say this, brothers, because like getting these things, getting women, cars, money, you know, whatever you name, all these are byproducts of a man walking in his purpose. These are byproducts of a man walking in his purpose. But at the same time, a man that has no idea what his purpose is can still obtain these things. A man can still obtain these things without being tied to his purpose. Trust me, I've done that. And what you have to understand that once you obtain these things without being connected to purpose, brother, they are a burden. I don't care how fine a woman is, how fast the car is, how much income you get from the asset. If it isn't channeled through your purpose, if your totem pole isn't structured right, brothers, I'm telling you, it's a burden. It's a burden. There's no fulfillment in it. If you're fulfilled, and this is why I always say this is why it's so important, brothers, for if a man is going to get into a relationship, brother, it's vital that he's connected to purpose. Because if you get into a relationship and you haven't identified that, brother, now your purpose is that woman. Now your purpose is that woman, and we all know how that plays out. We all know how that plays out. If you want to get certain assets, certain vehicles, certain motorcycle, car, whatever, and you aren't connected to your purpose, now your purpose are those things. Now your identity are those things. And as those things age and get older, now your spirit goes down with it because you're connected to it like that instead of being connected to your purpose, brothers. So I like what Brother Dita was saying, man. It was like, you know what? Like a man needs to check these boxes. Like a man is going to go through certain avenues and do certain things, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing because now he has that balance between ego and spirit. And once he connects to Source, man, though he no longer has to scratch that itch of the unknown, rather, right? So, brother, the one reason why purpose must be priority, brother, is because ultimately there's no fulfillment in anything else for a man. The number two reason why a man's purpose must be priority, man, is because your family, your circle, your immediate, people, they depend on it, brothers. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, man. This is very important. And to be honest, man, I'm just now understanding a lot of this at this stage of my life. Within the last year or two, I'm just now coming into an understanding of this thing, man. Like when I say your circle depends on it, let's take your wife, for example, man. Like, well, let me just say as your family as a whole, your wife, your kids, you have to understand, man, that regardless of what's being said, regardless of the quality time y'all are spending together, they still look at you as the leader. They still look at you as the quarterback. And I say this to brothers all the time, man. Looking back to when I was married, I can identify with this thing. it can be a challenge for men to keep that leadership edge over a family when things are in harmony, man. When you have the wife and you have the kid and life is good and money is good, y'all taking vacations, it's easy for you to put yourself on this equal playing field and everybody just become buddy, especially like you and your spouse. But brother, you're never supposed to leave that point of leadership. You're never supposed to leave that, man, because your family is depending on you being there. Having said that, man, sometimes the wife is going to be like, babe, like, let's go do this. Let's go buy this. Let's go to vacation here. Let's go do X, Y, and Z. Brother, they're depending on you to be in that leadership role, to veto things if you have to. That's why purpose must be a priority, man. Your wife is going to complain about spending quality time and all these things. But the moment your purpose isn't priority, she's no longer looking at you the same. She's no longer, and Dita spoke about this in the book as well. Because what he said what a woman does is if she sees that a man can't move in that leadership role, then she says, you know what, I have to do it. And that's why you see a lot of women moving in masculine roles now, because there are so many men that aren't fitting the bill, brothers. So it has to be your priority as far as your family is concerned. This is one thing when I said I recently learned, man. You know, when you talk about, especially when you talk about raising young sons, man, like it was my idea for the longest that it was all about massive amounts of time. Like when my son came to live with me, it was all about, you know what, man, every weekend we got to be doing this. I got to be talking to him all this time. I learned later in life, within the last year or two, man, that it's more about what your children see you doing as a man, as opposed to you just spending every waking hour with them, especially for our young brothers. If you have a young son, man, and you aren't able to spend a lot of time with him or as much time as you would like, brothers, just know this: he's watching you. And if you're moving in a certain energy outside, if you're moving in your purpose, if you're moving mountains, if you're knocking down walls, if you're accomplishing goals, brother, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're having that impact on the world and your family and your children as you're supposed to do, man. You know, it's really not about the quantity of time when it comes to this. It's about when you spend time, let it be quality. But when you're not spending time, let you be moving in your purpose. That's what your family unit is really observing, whether they're aware of it or not. That's what they're observing. That's how they know if they can trust you as a man. That's where your wife finds that security, brothers. So the second reason why your purpose must be priority is because your family unit, your circle depends on it, brother. That's what they're expecting you to do. And the third reason, man, why purpose must be priority is because, like, when it's all over, what else will matter? In other words, when you live to see that 100th birthday and you finally clock out, what else will matter, brothers? You know, when you're in those last moments, when you're in that getting put in that grave, it won't matter how big the crib was. It won't matter how many times you went to Dubai. It won't matter how many times you jumped out of a plane. It won't matter what kind of vehicles you purchased. It don't matter how many women you had abroad. It won't matter how thick your wife was. None of that will matter, man. When brothers are leaving your gravesite, they won't be talking about those things, brothers. They're going to be talking about how you moved the world. They're going to be talking about the deep one-on-one conversations y'all had. They're going to be talking about what you left. They're going to be talking about your purpose, brothers. Because when you're here, nothing else is relevant. I mean, when you leave this planet, nothing else matters, man. You think someone cares what kind of car you had 10 years after you're gone? They're still talking about what you left. They're still talking about your legacy. They're still talking about what kind of example you were for your children, your family, and other brothers. They're still talking about the knowledge or the information or the books or just the words spoken by you while you were here. That's why it's important, man. And the thing is, moments before that happened, like I can only imagine, right? I can only imagine being in a hospital bed, you know, knowing that, you know, knowing that my days are numbered, still fully conscious, knowing that my days are numbered, and thinking about all the opportunities I had to help my brothers and help my sisters on this planet. All the information that passed through my mind that I failed to share. All the young men that I saw walking down the street or playing basketball at the park that I could have said, hey, brothers, you know what? This is how you need to move. All the men that are in prison that cross my path that I could have said, you know what, brothers? This is how you stay out of prison. This is how you walk tight. I'm telling you, brother, like when time is up, it's up. And if you read that book, man, that book I always talk about, is it 5 things you must know before you die? That's what everybody talks about in that book, man. Regret. I should have. This is how I should have moved. This is what I could have done. But I'm telling you, if there's no other reason why purpose must be priority, it's that. Who wants to live 50 years? Who wants to live 80, 100 years and gets to the finish line and say, you know what? I spent all this time on this planet and did absolutely nothing. Because to be honest, brother, you won't start living until you tie to your purpose. On everything I know, brother, I was 42 years old when I first started living. I had no idea I was moving around this planet like a drone, man, like a mummy. And the thing is, it's not about accumulating things. Yes, accumulating things in the process of good, brothers, but you have to release that. You have to stop connecting the accumulation of things and walking in your purpose. You have to stop looking at people on social media with big chains on and wanting to follow their path just because of these things. All that glitters ain't gold, brother. Everybody that seems to be winning isn't tied to purpose. So find that first, man. We always talk about seek ye first the kingdom. Find that kingdom first, brother. That's where purpose lives. And I'm telling you, everything else is a byproduct, brothers. On everything I know, man, you haven't started living until you tied into your purpose, brothers. So, brothers, remember this. Your purpose must be a priority. Brothers, don't forget about the amazing deal at Tiege Hanley. Click that link and get started today.